write a thriller about me. Boom, I was sucked in. It could be anybody that's the killer. Don't let my imagination roam wild. Hey chapter besties, what's up, and welcome back to another video. For those who don't know, my name is Angie. If you're new here, welcome. I'm glad to have you. I hope you like and what you see, what you hear, and I hope you click the subscribe button and join the fam. We have a good time over here. If you're not new here, welcome back. I'm so glad you decided to click on another video with me, and yeah, let's get into it. We're talking about everything suspense today and what constitutes a good suspense book, in my opinion, which is not the gospel, but it's more so to open a conversation because I'm curious to know how you guys feel about suspense books. Like, what constitutes a good suspense book to you? Because I can 4 or 5 star a suspense book and then go on Goodreads and somebody could be like, this was the worst book ever. And I know reading is subjective, right? I understand that. I get that. Everybody's opinions is different, but I feel like suspense, that genre, that thriller, suspense, mystery genre is just so subjective, so up in the air, and everybody has different opinions on what makes a really good book. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it and keep it cute. And we can talk about it and just, just vibe out regarding suspenses and stuff like that. I will say in this video, I will probably use suspense, mystery, and thriller interchangeably. And I'm getting ready to go through the definitions because I think it's important that we kind of dissect what each one means and how they correlate to one another. Because when I was doing this research, I'm like, well, these genres are pretty similar. Like, you need one component in another one and then in another one. So it's like, okay, so in this video, I will just refer to it as suspense book. I'm talking mystery, I'm talking thriller, I'm talking psychological thriller. They're all one and the same in this video, okay? But anyway, let's get into the definition of suspense books and what they truly mean. So, the technical definition of a suspense book is a narrative device designed to create tension and anxiety in readers, compelling them to question what will happen next in a story. And so when I think of a book that has compelled me to just be like, oh, what's about to happen next, or what's getting ready to happen, I think of The Silent Patient by Alex I can't say his last name, so we're just going to call him Alex M. The Silent Patient really just had me compelled. Like, I really just wanted to keep turning the page. It follows a woman, well, not follows, it's about a woman who ends up killing her husband and ends up in this institution, and there on the other spectrum is the psychologist or psychiatrist, I forget his exact title, but he's like obsessed with this woman in this case and seeing if she's gonna ever talk again, and just all the things. And we find out in the story, like, as we get closer to the end, the obsession and what has transpired between her and her husband and what's going on in his life. And then once I got to that page, if you read The Silent Patient, I read that one page, and when it was sort of towards the middle and bottom on the right hand side, I remember like it was yesterday, and I read the book early last year. I read that portion a good 10 to 15 times before I could move on. I kid you guys not, because I was so compelled. Like, I was so engrossed in what was going to happen next, and that was the suspense part of it. Mystery fiction is a literary genre that centers around the unraveling of a mystery, often involving crime, detective work, and suspenseful narratives. So here we find in mystery, you have to have a little bit of suspense to constitute that, to get that mystery aspect of it. And this kind of reminds me of Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Meany. I rated that 4 stars. I read it last year. It's about a couple who every year on their anniversary, they exchange like unique gifts to one another. It's actually a really cool idea. But on their 10th anniversary, they find out that their marriage is in trouble. Like, they are not getting along. Like, things are just not going how they expected the marriage to go. And so they decide to go on this retreat. Well, when they get to this retreat, some secrets are unraveled. They find that somebody is watching them. Somebody is paying attention to their moves. Like the house is kind of giving haunted, and it's just is giving that mystery aspect of it, that detective work of like, well, what's going on here? And yeah, I 4-starred it, but again, you go on Goodreads and you have these different opinions of like, this book sucked, or 1 star, 2 star, and so yeah. And then we have thriller, which is a genre of fiction with numerous, often overlapping subgenres, including crime, horror, and detective fiction. So this definitely reminds me of King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby, which I read this year and I 5-starred it and highly recommend it. It follows Roman, who lives in Atlanta as a financial advisor. He returns back to his hometown in Virginia because his brother has, well, he returns home not because of the brother. The father was in this mysterious crash, but when he gets there, he finds out that his brother is involved with some gangbangers, and he has to use his financial skills to get his brother out of trouble. And then his sister is investigating the mysterious disappearance of his mother. And so it's just a whirlwind of thriller with the suspense aspect, with the mystery aspect, and just, yeah, so they're different, but they're the same at the same time. You sometimes with one you need the other one. So yeah, I just wanted to clarify the definition on that before I get into what constitutes a good suspense book to me. A good suspense book to me has good pacing. I think pacing is important because it keeps the reader engaged. And when you're in a mystery book, the last thing you want to do is bore your audience. And I'm struggling with that right now reading The Other Black Girl. The Other Black Girl follows a woman who is like the only black girl in her publishing firm or something like that, and then another black girl shows up and she's like very weird acting, and then the original girl, she gets a note saying like, leave the office or you don't belong here or something to that extent. And the pacing is just not, it's so bad to the point where I don't even want to finish the book. But I try not to DNF books because I just don't know how they're going to end. They could end on a good note, and I've had that happen before. Like a book started out terrible, but I finished it and I ended up 4-starring it. So if your pacing is not good, you leave the reader just reading a book for 4 months. I've literally been reading this book for months because I just can't get over the hump. I'm 50+% in, and I'm just having a hard time grasping of what the heck are we talking about right now? What are we doing? What are we doing? So if your pacing is not good, you're just going to lose people. And so that's one of the most important aspects of to me, is to have good pacing in the book. And if you don't have good pacing, you need to be telling one hell of a story to keep somebody's attention. Number 2 is short chapters. I love suspense books with short chapters. I'm reading Tell Me What You Did by Carter Wilson right now. That book follows a woman who is a podcast host, and she has people come on to her podcast to admit to crimes that they have committed. I think the only crimes that she doesn't deal with is animal cruelty and either sexual assault or child abuse. I think it's animal and child abuse that she just will not listen to. So anyway, a man named Ian Henley ends up coming on this woman's podcast to admit to killing her mother. Only Poe, which is the female main character, is like, wait a minute, that can't be so because I killed her killer. And so in this book, the chapters are super duper short. I mean, one chapter is like half a page, and I feel like, again, that keeps the reader engaged. That keeps the reader wanting to flip the page. It keeps the person on their toes. And I also feel like it's good for people that have busy schedules. You know what I mean? Like if you have, listen, hear me. I am a just one more chapter person. Be lying my behind off. I'm going to read about 3 more. But when you do that with this book, you can easily get 5 more chapters, and it's just very fast paced. And I think that's just important to have short chapters in a mystery, because it kind of like, I don't know if it's psychological, but it kind of like makes you like the mystery build up almost. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm the psycho. Write a thriller about me. The third thing that constitutes a good suspense book to me, the twist. I need something that's going to jar me mouth to floor to mouth. Like I need my mouth to drop If I'm not like that within 50 pages, just give me something to make me go, "Arr! Oh yeah, I'm about to read this in one sitting. I'm going to keep turning the page no matter what I have going on in my life." And that reminds me of The 5-Year Lie by Sabrina Bowen. I'm going to read the synopsis to this because I don't want to give too much away on this book. It's absolutely one of my favorite books. It's a domestic thriller, I would say. I would say domestic thriller, but it's listed as psychological thriller. So I'm just going to read the synopsis here so I don't give too much away, because sometimes if I get too excited about a book, I have to edit stuff out because I'm like, wait a minute, you spoiling stuff for the people. But anyway, a woman receives a text from her deceased ex-lover leading her on a dangerous quest for the truth about his disappearance and the secrets he left behind. When I read this book, within the first chapter or so, boom, I was sucked in. You could not tell me this was not going to be a 5-star book. And I love books like that. Not even just suspense books, but all books in general, where I can just feel within that first chapter, or at least being reasonable, the first 50 pages, oh shoot, this is going to be a 5-star. And when I tell you that starts out with a bang, from what I can remember and the feelings that I had, I just love it. I love a good twist within the first 50 pages. Just something, you don't have to tell it all, but just give me something, like something to make me want to keep reading this book. The fourth thing that makes for a good suspense book is climate and atmosphere. So when I'm talking climate and atmosphere, I am talking a book that sets the stage and you can kind of get into the book with the characters. Like, the book is so good that you feel like you're inside this particular moment. And that reminds me of A Killing Cold by, I think it's Kate Marshall. Anyway, it'll be inserted here. The Killing Cold is really good as far as like setting that stage, like that vibe of what's happening. It follows a woman who is engaged to this man, and she gets a letter that he's getting ready to introduce her to his family, and she gets a letter basically saying like, don't marry him or don't come or something to that extent. But she ends up going anyway. And when she gets out there to this cabin, she's like, wait a minute, I've been here before. And so now she's starting to unravel some things that have happened in childhood, to where she's like, okay, I've been here before. This is what happened, X, Y, and Z. And yeah, it was really good. Like the author did a marvelous job setting the tone and the stage, and like just the climate and atmosphere, like you feeling like you're right inside in that cabin in those woods with those characters. So climate and atmosphere is extremely important to me. The fifth thing that I love, or what constitutes a good suspense book for me, is characters. So call me crazy, but if I'm reading historical fiction or something else, I don't like a lot of characters in books. Not a lot, or them having big roles. But when it comes to a suspense book, I love when there is a lot of characters, because it gives that whodunit aspect. That I'm a big fan of Clue and the board game and the movie, and so it gives me that clue of, was she in the kitchen with the butcher knife? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want that whodunit feel. And when you have a bunch of characters and a bunch of things happening, you get that vibe of who done it. Like, you just don't know. It could be anybody that's the killer, anybody that's, you know, just the cuckoo one. And that reminds me of Big Little Lies by Liane Moriarty. I'm going to read this as well because I don't want to give too much away. And yeah, we want to be courteous to you guys. I 5-starred this book. I think I read it earlier this year. It was supposed to be part of a Page to Screen vlog, but I ended up nixing that because I just love this book so much. 3 women's lives intersect at their children's school. Forceful Madeline, beautiful Celeste with dark secrets, and mysterious young Jane. A death occurs, revealing dangerous lies beneath suburban perfection. And when I tell you, it was so many different characters and so many different things happening within the book that you just had no idea what was going to happen. Like, who killed who? or who is the villain in this book. And I just love books with a bunch of characters like that. Also, Sherry Lapina's Everyone Here Is Lying, which follows the stories about a girl who comes home and finds her dad in an affair, I think, or something like that, and she ends up going missing. And so you have just a neighborhood of people with a bunch of different secrets. And so it's like, well, who took the little girl? She's missing. What happened to her? And everybody in the neighborhood is lying about something. Like, something is going on with all of them. So that there's that aspect of who done it. You don't know. So it makes for a good mystery to me, a good suspense to me. And the last thing that I love that makes a good suspense book to me is when they switch between different time periods. So I love books, and that's the book that I'm reading now, Tell Me What You Did. It switches between different time periods. So you see Poe and Ian in this interview on October 31st, and then the next page or chapter will flip to 2 weeks prior. To me, that keeps people interested. That keeps me, at least me, wanting to turn the page. That keeps me guessing of what's going to happen. And I just love to see, like, the aspect of what led up to that particular moment, if that makes sense. Like, what got these people here? That just is a complete page turner. So those are the top 6 things that I love. We talked about pacing, short chapters, twist, climate and atmosphere, characters, and then a switch between time period. One thing that I don't love, don't leave me on a freaking cliffhanger. And when I read The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry, extremely good. I think I 4-starred it. But then I read the follow-up to that, which is kind of just like an update 10 years later of what's going on with the people, and it kind of left me on a cliffhanger, or like what to believe. Don't let my imagination run wild, because then I'm gonna get pissed off. And that's partly why I like epilogues and romance books, because I'm nosy. I just want that HEA. I want that feeling. And if I am left on a cliffhanger in a suspense book, I'm gonna get so upset about it. But I will say that I have some really good, I've been struggling with suspenses this year and finding like that really good 5-star. Like I said, I only 5-star King of Ashes for all the books that I read. The others were like 3, maybe 4 stars. And if I look back, I probably would put it in the 3-star category. But I have some good mysteries and good suspenses on my list, from The Reformatory to Not Quite Dead to Forget Me Not. I think The Intruders on here that I heard was really good. So I have a lot of mysteries that I won't count my lies. Like, there's so many good books. Well, I'm hoping that they're good mysteries that I want to read before the end of the year, if not early next year, that I hope are good. But if you have any good recommendations for the things that I said that I like for me, please feel free to drop them in the comments. I would love to know your thoughts, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Okay. I am over here I hope you like in here. If you're not new here, welcome back. I hope you